Hello! How's everyone doing? Thank you for coming to my little birthday stream. Cabbage, that's pretty awesome. We have pretty similar-ish, like, closest-ish birthdays. But thanks for being here, Cabbage, Rice, whoever else is here. I think Locke is lurking, because he DM'd me. But hello! Thank you for coming. Hope you all are having a great day, morning, evening, whatever time it is for you. Let me know if audio levels are good on all that stuff. So I have a few different activities for today. I'm glad you're doing good, Rice. I'm doing pretty good too. It's been a pretty chill day. Nobody's been around today except me. So yeah, I've just been like chilling, drinking tea, preparing for stream. Not much. I'm glad you like my little birthday stuffies, Cabbage. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to do something special and fun for birthday, but it's like low effort yet still fun and extra, you know? Maybe next year I'll have a more extravagant birthday celebration. But this year's, you know, not too crazy, more simple, but we do have a bunch of fun activities. So I have our Q&A, as a bunch of you probably know already, and I have some tier lists I thought would be fun to do a few together. And then we can do some community games. I think I might throw up a poll to see which games that everybody wants to play, and we'll do that in a little bit so that people have a time to come in and do the poll and join in if they want to. And I have a little slideshow to share with you guys, kind of about me, if we want to do that as well. Yeah, so bunch of fun little things. Let's see here. Okay, so I think we should start with maybe one tier list and then we'll do the Q&A, because I want to give people time to come in so that they can see their question and everything, but I don't want to wait too long for the Q&A because I know a lot of you are in Europe and have to go to bed sometime soon, so I want you guys to be able to catch it, but I might give a little bit of time for people to filter in, so we might do one tier list and then the Q&A. And then either go back to tier lists or we can talk about lore stuff. And then we can do some community games after that. I think that sounds like a good idea. Yeah. So I just have to get this set up so you guys can see it. Just checking to see if there's already a display capture set up, and it seems there is not, which is okay. I'm just using Arashi's OBS, so it's not all set up to my settings. Window capture, that is what we want. Bloop. Why is it showing that automatically? That's weird. Well, don't hide that for a minute. Wait a second. Okay, let's see. Maybe it's because the tab I wanted was minimized. That would probably be why. There we go. Forgive me for not having this set up already. It's the only thing I didn't set up in advance. suddenly everybody needed me right before stream, so I had to delay finishing my last little bit of prep to help people out. So we'll plop that boop, 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 down here. There we go. There. Now it's wait. Now it's where we need it to be. Okay. Bloop. And as you can see, we're using the tier maker site, and I'm just doing tier lists other people have already created. Maybe one day we'll make our own tier lists and fill those out, if you guys like that idea. I know tier lists are a really typical, like, VTuber activity, so I don't do them much, because I don't want to be like the other girls. But, you know, they're fun every now and then, I think. So we'll do one of these, and then we'll do the Q&A. And I picked The Office because, that might be one of my current obsessions. I mean, if you've been to my other streams, you probably know that already. I think I've mentioned The Office in most of my streams. I'm rewatching it for probably the 3rd time right now. And, yeah. So I've got one that's most iconic moments, which is this one. And then there's another one that's all dating couples in The Office, like including the absolute awful couples. So I thought that might be fun to just like hate on characters for a bit, because I have some feelings about a lot of couples in The Office. There are only a few of them that I actually like, and the rest I have some words with. But yeah, we may I think we'll start with the most iconic moments one, because I think they're the most iconic moments, you know. So any Office fans will recognize them, and if you don't recognize The Office, I'm sorry, go watch it. It's how do I explain? It's not that it's overrated, but it maybe is a little bit, but it's fun. So I think people should watch it anyway, but just with lower expectations than what certain people put on it, because people act like it's the best show in the world, and then other people get into it and think it's not that great because it didn't meet their expectations. So just don't have too high expectations going in, and it's a great show. Of course, the best part is when Michael Scott is a part of the cast. Once he leaves, it's, you know, not as fun. It's still fun, but it's a little sad. You guys can see my mouse, right? Yeah, let's get started here. So, first of all, this one's gonna be hard not to put everything in S tier. Yeah, absolutely. So I think I might just start with some of my absolute favorite moments, because I feel like that's gonna be easier to just automatically put in S tier, the ones that are like my favorites personally, and then go from there. Because then I have to judge based on, you know, the scenes that I've already put there, and I have to be more critical. So Threat Level Midnight definitely goes in S tier. No doubt about that one. The entire Threat Level Midnight episode is just peak. It's golden. Freaking love that episode. Threat Level Midnight is fantastic. Okay, let's see. Next, the prank, the gym prank, when they have their actor friend pretend to be Jim, and he's like an Asian guy who looks nothing like Jim. And they actually kind of get convinced Dwight that Jim's been this guy all along. It's a hilarious bit. That's one of my favorites, so that goes up there too. Let's see. Looks like you have to go. Okay, thanks for being here. See ya, Cabbage. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night or whatever time it is for you. And I'll see you again sometime, I hope. Bye-bye. This one is just too iconic to not put in S tier. It's when Toby comes back and he's just screaming, "No!" Anyone who knows memes will know that one. Let's see. I'm not sure which bit this is. I want to be honest. So if any Office enthusiasts can tell based on this image what this scene is supposed to be, please let me know. That's the one that I'm unsure about. The prank is your favorite? Yes! There are some really good Dwight and Jim, like, before the theme song bits. The juggling bit was kind of weird. I feel like it's funny, but I would not put it at the highest out of these. But I don't know where I'd put it yet, so I'm gonna leave it for now. This one's really good. This is a really good scene. It's when he meets the guy in the British version of The Office. Which, the first time I watched it, I didn't know that it was the guy from the British Office. I just thought it was a celebrity guest star or something, because I haven't seen the British version. But then I looked it up and figured out that the Brit in that scene is basically the Michael Scott equivalent in the original The Office, which was the British version. So it's like Michael Scott meets British Michael Scott, and it's hilarious. So yeah, I'd say that's A tier, because it's not my favorite, but it's a really good moment. What else? Prison Mike, gonna put that in A tier, because that's also just a hilarious moment. That's iconic. You see the bandana and it's unmistakable. Good moment. I'm gonna put this one in S tier too. So this is actually one of my favorite, like, more sweet, like, wholesome moments of the show. It's when Michael shows up to Pam's art show and is the one person who's really supportive and says that he's proud of her. And then she hugs him because it's like what she needed to hear, and none of her friends were supporting her. It's a really good Michael and Pam moment. There are a few of those. I feel like Michael and Pam's relationship gets really wholesome by the end of Michael's run. Scott's Tots is a really good one too. It's like secondhand embarrassment and also wholesome and also absolutely horrible and also funny. It's just all the things. Let's see. Oh, Michael's proposal scene. That's a good one too. The chili scene, I honestly thought was overrated the first time I saw it. Because I'm like, what's so funny about that? Kevin just spills his entire huge pot of chili. It's like so sad. I feel worse for Kevin in this scene than any other moment in the entire show. It makes me sad. But at the same time, it is a really iconic moment. Like, you remember this moment. Like, months later, years later, you go, Kevin's chili. It sticks in your head. So I think because of that, that makes it really high. I don't know if I'd put it in A tier. I'll think about that one. But that's like, it's a good moment now in hindsight because it just sticks in your brain. It's such an iconic moment. Dwight setting things on fire was a good moment. This was a really good moment. This one's really, really funny. Boom Roasted is good too. It's hard to really choose different tiers for these. I feel like nothing's gonna be D tier. I'm just not gonna use the D tier. So we'll put the lowest one in C. I think the juggling one is my least favorite of these. Even though it's funny, it's just not as funny as some of the others. I Declare Bankruptcy is really funny. Dwight's horrifying face thing, this was really good too. I don't know. It probably deserves A tier. I'll think about it. I might move it up. It's so hard. I think the Jim and Pam wedding scene I'd put lower, not because I don't really like the scene, but because I think like the actual like best part of this is before the actual wedding. So it's the scene where like when Pam like has her little breakdown and Jim comes in and makes her feel better, and then they go and get married like before the actual wedding. That's actually the best part of this bit. The wedding itself is just, it's fun, but it's not the moment that sticks out to me. So we'll put that lower. I don't remember what this one is either. Oh, this one has to go in S tier, because that is the Michael's like final moment when they all sing to him, I'm pretty sure. And that is definitely one of the most iconic moments in my mind. This one's really funny, but it's slower than these. I think I'm gonna put it there, even though it deserves to be higher. No. It's higher than the juggling scene for sure. Maybe I'll put that in D. It's hard though because it's not that I don't like it, you know? But I have to be really, really picky because they're all good scenes. I'm also not 100% sure which scene this is supposed to be because I feel like there's more than one scene it could be because they're on the phone more than one. I don't know. Boom Roasted is good. This one's funny. I think I'll put it there though. It's hard. Okay, this one goes above those though. This one's a little lower, I think. This is when they're doing like the little like lip sync video, which is fun, but my favorite part is just the end of it, I think. When they're like, well, that was better than the last time, and then Michael's like, let's do it again, and it's like clear that's probably how they spent the rest of their day. I feel like that's the part that really makes it funny to me. Yeah, we'll put it there for now. This one's a really good scene. It's just funny. I think I'll put it there. Kevin's chili. I'm gonna put Kevin's chili lower, just because it does still make me sad every time I watch it. But it is a good scene. Okay, I don't know about these ones because I don't completely remember what each of these scenes is supposed to represent. I think they're just too small. The little tiny thumbnail images make it hard to tell exactly which scene, like what's going on in these. Oh no, this is the party scene. Oh, I think, wait. Maybe not. No, I don't know. I can't tell because it's too small. So we'll go with that and we'll leave these ones. Let's see. Dwight is the type of employee that would keep harassing me on a job when he didn't even call it in. They are the type that I do massive info dumps on. 100% fair. Dwight is horrible. Like, I would probably hate him in real life, but he's hilarious as a character. And he feels like one of those characters who very well could have been based on someone that the writer actually knew. He feels like that annoying guy that everyone's had to deal with, but like maybe a bit exaggerated, but all of his traits fit people who are real. Hello, Clipsy, what's croaking? Happy birthday. Thank you. Hello, welcome. Thank you for being here. Fire drill scene lives rent-free in your head. Of course it does. It's fire. Anything fire related would live rent-free in your head. But no, it's a really, really good scene. It's hilarious. It almost pains me to put it in B, but I have to put something in B. I have to be really critical with these. And of course, these are just my favorites rather than which scenes are like just actually best scenes. So, you know, this scene might be Locke's S tier, and that's all fine and good, because they all deserve to be S tier. Yeah, I think I'm satisfied with that. I think we'll leave it at that. Let's see. We've been going for about almost half an hour, so I think we've waited long enough to do a little bit of Q&A, I think, and then maybe another tier list after Q&A. And you guys can tell me if you'd rather have the Office couples one, or if you'd like me to do the Star Trek. Both of these don't have a very large number, so I could easily do both of them. It's just Next Generation and Voyager characters. And then we have Hololive EN original songs. It's not all of them because this is from 2023, so it's not updated, but it's a lot of them. So we can go through those. That one's gonna be really, really hard too. And it's a bigger one, so it'll take a little longer. So we could do Hololive originals, we could do Star Trek, or we could do The Office couples. I'll let you guys think about that one and tell me if you have any preference. And then for now, we will do a little cheeky Q&A. Just gotta pull it up real quick. Where'd it go? It ran away from me. There it is. Okay, here we are. So I think most of the questions I got from the Q&A were from 2 people. So you might see the same names repeated a few times. Just don't worry about that. And feel free to ask other questions in chat as well. I'll probably give a little more time and attention to the ones that were sent in advance, but I'll ask... I can speak English, I promise. I'll answer any questions that you guys type in chat as well. And for anyone who's curious about my tea choices for today, I am drinking an Earl Grey with a little bit of sugar. Okay, Spicy Rice asked, "How old are you, Turney?" This is kind of a weird one for me. Is I always debate whether or not I actually care about sharing my age, and ultimately I don't really care. But then part of me is like, oh, but you shouldn't share your age because internet safety. But I don't think that really matters that much. I think there are a lot more crucial things to not share on the internet. But anyway, tomorrow I will be turning 25, and that feels really weird. I am officially mid-20s. Moving on to the next one. Are you doing anything special for your birthday? I don't really plan like big celebrations or anything like that. I usually just have a really chill birthday. But my mom and I are going to a tea house tomorrow, which I'm really excited about, and she just reminded me right before stream, so I'm really glad she did, because I was about to be like, no, I guess I'll have cake. But then she was like, oh, so we're gonna do the tea house tomorrow, and I was like, heck yeah. She was trying to get 2 of my siblings to go too, but they're busy, so it's just gonna be the 2 of us, me and mom. Which is totally fine because I get way more time with my siblings than I do with my mom. So we get to have some mother-daughter bonding over tea, and I'm excited. I've never actually been to a tea house. It's like something that I've always wanted to do, and I'm not sure why I haven't done it yet. But yeah, we're gonna be drinking tea. Afternoon tea. It's gonna be fun. And maybe I need to pick out a cute outfit for that. I didn't even think about it. But anyway, that's for later me to worry about. Next question. Have you touched grass today? Well, I did go outside. I did go somewhere earlier. I wasn't out for very long, and the place I went was mostly inside, and it's hot and humid out right now. So I don't know if that counts, but I hope that answers your question. Next, why are you a bear, and why a bear specifically? This is actually a pretty interesting question. I'm gonna take a sip of tea before I answer it. Okay. So this is going to break character a bit, and I apologize, but you know, design stuff. I don't have much of a choice to answer this. And I like the question, so I'm gonna answer it. So I decided again, I can speak English, I promise. So I decided on being a bear years ago. when exactly. It was during the era of Google+. It was a while ago. It was like when I was talking to my first like online friend group in high school. So it's been a while, you know. I've been a bear for a while. But I kind of decided on it because I was trying to figure out a persona design that suited me but wasn't like boring, because I don't know, I like the idea of like my persona or the drawing that represents me looking kind of like me. I always felt like if I designed a completely distinct character, I would never really feel like it was me and eventually would want to change the design. So I always kind of just drew myself as myself, but I wanted something to kind of make my design stand out. And I thought about being a cat, but I didn't want to be a cat because everybody else was a cat. Especially in my friend group at the time. Like, literally, most of my friend group, their personas were, like, cat girls. So I didn't want to do that. And I wasn't really sure what else to do. And I gave myself this little crescent moon hair clip that I have. And the reason I did that was because it represented the main story that I had been working on at the time, that I started working on when I was like 11. So this main character from this story, it's a sci-fi story, and the main character's name is Eclipse. And so he's kind of got like moon and spacey themes. And so I decided on the crescent moon to kind of be my symbol to represent me, because it kind of referenced the story and the character. And Eclipse is also where I got the name Clipsy. It's kind of short for Eclipse. So yeah, I kind of stole his name a little bit. And I used the clip. And then one of my friends at the time told me that the hair clip made me look kind of like a Teddy Ursa. And I thought that was cute, so I drew myself with bear ears. And I liked it, so I kept it. So that's that story. Yeah. I think there's not a lot else to say about that. But over time as well, I feel like the bear personality kind of like really suits me. The whole like hibernating in the winter and me being a kind of more like chill and lazy personality. And I just love the way bears sit like people and just look kind of like dejected. Yeah, but I think bears suit me definitely. And I've felt that more the longer I've been in this form. So yeah. What are your favorite brushes? I would assume this means digital art brushes. So, I used Clip Studio Paint, for anyone who doesn't know. And my favorite brush in Clip Studio Paint is actually the pencil brush. That's like automatically in the program. I don't use any downloaded brushes because I haven't gotten them to work for some reason. Like, I followed tutorials to set them up and they just don't appear in Clip Studio. So that's something I have to mess around with more. But at the time being, I only use like the pre-downloaded ones that are automatically in Clip Studio. And the pencil one is my favorite because it's just really soft looking. It has a really like charming feel that it gives art. Like, you can see that all of my little assets here, my balloon, my hat, and even my PNG that's speaking to you right now, they are all outlined with the pencil brush, and it kind of makes it look soft and doodly, and I like that. So I sketch with it, and sometimes I line things with it. Actually, I line things with it a lot these days because I do a lot of lower quality quote-unquote art. But yeah, that's my favorite brush. And then for more finished line art, or I guess more bold line art, you could say, I use the Real pen, I think it is, something like that, that has a little bit of texture to it, so it looks more like an actual ink pen, and I like that one a lot too. And then other brushes I use just kind of depends on what I'm doing. I need to experiment more with softer brushes to do like smooth shading, because recently I've only really been doing cell shading and some airbrushing for effects like the end of my hair being blonde, stuff like that. So yeah, I still have to do some experimenting because it's been a while since I've, you know, messed around with things and changed things up and done different styles. But yeah, those are my favorite brushes. when you make an art piece, what goals do you usually have in mind? I thought this was a really interesting question too, because I feel like not a lot of people think about this. Like when most people, maybe not most people, but when a lot of people draw, I feel like they're not really thinking about like goals or what they want to convey. They're kind of just drawing what they feel like drawing, which is totally cool. And I think a lot of the times when I'm drawing on a daily basis, that's how I draw too, is just kind of like, I feel like doing something, so I doodle on a page, and I'm not really thinking much about it. But I think it's good to have like goals and ideas of like what kind of feelings and whatnot you want to convey, and I think a lot of people do, even if it's subconscious. But I don't know. I feel like it's just a topic we don't really talk much about, aside from like, you know, actual professionals. They probably talk about that, and I hear people talk about this kind of thing in art school. But yeah, that's about it. I don't usually hear just like hobbyists talking about this question. So yeah, I like this question, and I will answer it. Just give me a second to sip my tea. Okay, so what goals do you usually have in mind when you make an art piece? For my art, I am mostly like a character artist. I focus on like character design, expressions, emotions, stuff like that. Because I mostly draw to tell a story. I started as a writer before I became an artist. You know, I always like doodled and stuff as a kid, like every kid does. But when I really started getting serious with art was when I decided that I wanted to like have a way to express my stories, because I was writing like novels and stuff like that, and I would, you know, write these characters, and then I wanted to visualize them, and I wanted to be able to illustrate my stories. So I started drawing my characters from my stories, and I started making comics as well. I think my character I mentioned, Eclipse, he started out in a comic. So he was one of the first characters that I really got like serious about drawing. So really for a long time, drawing for me was about telling a story and like visualizing my ideas and my stories and concepts and stuff. Hello, Arashi. Thank you for birth happening. Yeah. Are you busy with work and stuff? I'm guessing you're listening while lurking. We're lurking while working. That's what I meant. Lurking while working. Hello, Juan Jose. Is that how you pronounce that? Thank you very much. So, we're talking about this question. When you make an art piece, what goals do you usually have in mind? So I'm talking about what kind of things I want to convey in my art. We'll listen to more Disturbed at Work in your... Thank you very much. I feel very honored. So, yeah, I draw like my characters and my stories and whatnot to kind of convey stories and ideas and like emotions. I like conveying emotion in my illustrations. And that is, how do I say this? You know, expression, like character expression goes into that, but then also like scene and colors and things like that go into that. So yeah, that kind of stuff like does affect how I illustrate. I like to show details in my illustrations that kind of reveal something about the character and their story. And yeah. So I think that's really my my main goal when I draw, is to convey some kind of story and feeling. And I have not really been drawing a lot of, you know, actual illustrations with that purpose recently, because I've been just doodling, or I've been making assets for streaming, or I've been working on art for school. Because art school stinks, but also doesn't at the same time. So, this applies mostly to my illustrations, but it still does affect the rest of my art as well. Because like the things I doodle are my characters with different expressions and in different scenarios that they might be in their story. So yeah, it kind of all just loops back to trying to tell a story in one way or another. Thank you, Danny Strats, for that question, and for all the others that you sent in as well. You pronounced it awesome. I'm so glad I got it right. So these last two questions are very similar. My OBS just full screened on me, and I didn't mean to do that. That's why I made that noise. But anyway, the last two questions are very, very similar, so I'll kind of answer them at the same time. The first one is, what fandoms inspired your art style, if any? And the next one is, who/what are your biggest influences? So, you know, it's not quite the same question, but they kind of both are kind of related, I think. So, as far as art style goes, it's kind of hard to say exactly where my art style comes from, because, I don't know, I don't think I'm super conscious of it when I, like, take inspiration from a comic, or not a comic, a fandom or anything. When I take inspiration from someone else's style, I'm not always aware of it. I just kind of like draw what I think will look good with my style and the way I want to express things, and then it kind of like happens, and when things look like things I'm influenced by, I, you know, don't always realize it. But an artist that inspired me a lot is Hyana Natsu. I got into her many years ago. I think I was like 13 probably when I discovered her over on DeviantArt in my DeviantArt days. And so she's been a big artistic inspiration. Her style looks nothing like mine, but I learned a lot from her in regards to like lining and shading and stuff like that. And it's kind of like a mix, I think, of anime and like Western cartoons. Like Disney and people who I would see posting art online that's kind of like, you know, cartoon inspired. A little closer to the Disney type cartoon rather than like Cartoon Network and whatnot. But also, you know, anime in general. As a whole, I don't think there's specific anime really I can point to. Maybe a little bit Full Metal Alchemist, but my style looks nothing like Full Metal Alchemist. I know that's just one of my original like favorites that I got into a long time ago. So stuff like that definitely influenced me and my art style. But it's hard to kind of point fingers on one specific thing. Old Disney, yeah. Naruto was very informative. Oh yeah. Naruto's visceral blood splashes, which those of you who have only watched the anime probably are like, what the heck are you talking about? The manga's way more bloody than the anime, because, you know, they can get away with more on a page than on TV. So if you haven't read the manga for Naruto, I actually definitely recommend checking it out just like to look at the art, because I love like manga art from that era. I feel like it's really expressive, really fun. Naruto's art style is actually pretty fun. You don't have the Cartoon Network angular look, the geometric face shapes. Yeah, the smooth like Disney type like cheeks and jaw structure is more like what I get inspiration from, I think. Yeah, I don't have the angularness that a lot of Western cartoons have. And I don't remember where my nose comes from. The way I draw nose, not my chibi style. This is just a chibi dot nose. But if you've seen my like full body like regular illustrations, I have an interesting way of drawing noses that is kind of different. I don't think I've seen anything else that looks exactly like the way I draw noses. But I know I was influenced by a mix of things for that, because I didn't want to draw just anime dot noses. I didn't think it looked right on my faces. So I kind of eventually came up with a nose that worked, and it took me quite a bit of trial and error. As much as noses seem like a really tiny, unimportant detail, they actually are a very important, difficult to figure out detail. But I think for my nose, I was more inspired by other artists that I saw online that kind of had a, I guess more Disney style inspired type design. Or like vaguely, not really anime, I guess. But yeah, maybe it's closer to a Tumblr art style. Let me see. His hair somehow looks natural in the manga. Oh yeah, Naruto's hair doesn't look like a mace in the manga. You know, in the anime it looks like it's not real, it's spiky. But in the manga it's like flowy and looks like hair. It looks so much better in my opinion. But the mace hair is definitely easier to animate, I'm sure. Want to say my noses come from Gundam, but I've been drawing them for way longer than I've watched Gundam. That does make sense, actually. Like, they are kind of similar to Gundam nose shapes. That might mean nothing to people. Actually, it needs to be specified which Gundam, too, because there's a lot of side series that don't look anything like. But, like, more, like, closer to original Gundam and, like, the origin and things that are based on the original style, stuff like that. They had... anime from that era in general, they had more, like, smooth, round noses. They were more pronounced, less, like, dot noses. I think, my noses look more similar to that than modern anime noses, but still, like, they don't really look like anime noses. They're, like, I think probably the most Western-inspired thing about my art style is the way I draw noses and the way I draw, like, the overall face shape. Everything else is a little more anime, I think. Hello, Lucas. Thank you. Happy to see you here. 70s to 80s anime had real noses. They did! Ugh, gotta love 70s to 80s noses. Let's see. What are my biggest influences in general? Outside of art style? Let's see if I can think of anything. Maybe, like, writing-wise, or... Well, as far as VTubing goes, Hololive 100%. That's, I feel like, kind of a given. I guess not most, but I think like half of VTubers would say the same thing. Oh, actually, as far as like my video content goes, I do have quite a few influences, like old YouTubers who inspired me and stuff like that. So for like my video styles? I guess styles works, right? Plural, because there are some different kinds of videos I make. Anyway, for my videos and my content and whatnot, I was definitely inspired by artists like Drawing with Waffles, who is my favorite like Draw With Me channel. Unfortunately, she hasn't been posting videos for a long time. She's had health concerns, which makes me really sad. Like, I hope she's doing okay. But, I, before she stopped posting, would watch every single one of her videos pretty much when she uploaded them. They're really, like, fun and cozy, and she's got a, like, kind of relaxing energy, but not, like, you know, whispery, soft, kind of relaxing, just, like, you know, chill. And she's a little bit, like, dorky and has some silly humor she puts in. And I just like her vibe. I feel like her vibe is kind of relatable and not too much different from mine. Although her videos are better than mine. So she was a big influence. I wanted to make videos similar to hers because I like them a lot, and with her not posting all the time, I miss those kinds of videos, and I want more videos like that on YouTube. So that's one of my biggest influences. As far as kind of the style of some of my like character design videos and stuff like that, I think I also take some inspiration from Lavender Town. I don't really watch her videos anymore, but she does a lot of character design videos where she'll have a theme. Like, what are some of the themes she's done? Clearly I haven't watched her in a while. She did one that was like astrological signs as characters. I think she did like the 7 Deadly Sins as characters, stuff like that, just different themes, and she did like a whole bunch of characters in the series. So like my Sea Creature redesign series follows a similar kind of format to that, except hers are usually like a bunch of characters in one video, mine are separated. But yeah, I take some inspiration from Lavender Town and that kind of stuff. Thank you, Lorado. I hope I pronounced that right. Hello, welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, we lost the anime noses in the 90s. They became dots. Fun and cozy definitely reminds me of you. Thank you, Lucas. Yeah, I like drawing with waffles a lot. She's my favorite. And on one hand, I really hope she starts uploading more videos, but on the other hand, I really hope she focuses on her health. So if she just can't upload videos, I'd rather her just take care of herself. But, you know, I'd like both, if possible. I miss her content, but I'll try to make similar content to remember her. Candy? Chips? What are we talking about? I like candy and chips. I have candy. I have a bag of candy here. I'm not eating the candy yet because I'm working on my tea and I don't want to mix the flavors. But anyway, yeah. What else? The Odd One's out. I know I don't do storytime content, but he was, him and other storytime YouTubers during the era when that was kind of the new thing and it was, you know, growing and people really liked storytime content. That got me really inspired to be a YouTuber because I just really liked the idea, the format, the like characters that represented them. And I really wanted to do that for a long time. I wanted to be a storytime YouTuber. The main reason why I haven't done that is because I just don't know what to talk about. But I kind of want to get into doing some of that kind of content. I have some D&D stories I might make into storytime videos. But yeah, The Odd One's out. Kind of Jaden animations as well. And people like that really inspired me. 90s was the triangle nose era. The dots are more 2000s. That's true. That is true. Yeah, the really, really sharp triangles were in the 90s. Like, Pokemon, the original series. Sorry, those were some themes Lavender Town did. Oh, yeah! My brain had already moved on because I can't focus on more than one thing at a time, and I forget things really, really fast. But thank you, yes, she did, like, different candies as characters and different chips as characters and stuff like that. Yeah, so I definitely, I think, take some inspiration from those concepts. Used to watch Drawing with Waffles too, stopped watching her a while ago, didn't know she had health concerns. Yeah, unfortunately. I think she'd been like in and out of surgeries and stuff for a few years. But there was a point, was it like a year ago, 2 years ago? I don't even remember now. But there was a point that she just kind of like disappeared for a while and I was really worried. And then she posted like an update saying that, like, you know, she was still around, but, like, kind of detailing where she'd been. And I haven't read that whole post yet because it was a long post. So I don't know exactly what's her condition right now, but I know that she's been having health issues for multiple years at this point, which is really sad, but yeah. What else? As I mentioned, I am definitely influenced a lot by Hololive and Holostars, but I think people kind of expect that because I'm kind of in the VTuber community, so it is kind of a given. I feel like I could mention specific members though, like Ninomai Inanis, or Ina, as most of us call her. She definitely has a more like chill, comfy vibe, and she does a lot of art content. So I think she influences me a bit. Kind of in the sense that I see it works for her, so it can potentially work for me, you know? Let's see what else. Hollow who? What's that? Oh, I have no idea. I've never heard of such a thing. What a obscure topic that has never been mentioned in my streams ever. as I sit with my Gavis Bettel standee on the desk here, and my Fauna plushie and my Sauna plushie upstairs in my room, and my Hollow Stars Tempest stickers on my dresser, and my Magni Desmond desk mat on my desk, and anyway. Oh, and I've got Arashi's Bae and Mume next to me as well. Yeah. I think that's the last question though. Yeah, it is. So that's our Q&A. That's kind of the end, I guess. Yeah. Thank you guys for submitting your questions and for listening to me ramble and for talking to me about artist content creators and stuff. And your Gura Daki Makura in the other room. Yes, that is in the other room. Oh, and my Calliope Mori Daki Makura that's on my bed. Got the whole merch selection. Oh yeah. It doesn't even end there. I've also got Callie's poster for her EP Your Mori, and I have the vinyl for Your Mori as well. And I have the buttons, the pins that also came with that set. I got the whole set, so I have everything included in that set. That was, I believe, her first birthday set. What else do I have? I'm sure I have something else. Oh yeah, I have a Gavis Bettel keychain as well, an acrylic keychain. That was for their was that their Valentine's Day? No, that was their anniversary, I think. I think I have an anniversary. Yeah, their first anniversary. Yeah, I have a Bettel keychain that's on one of my bags. Yeah. And this will not be the last merch I get. There will be more. There will be more. I drank my tea too fast. Okay. I think we'll do another tier list. Perhaps? Or, you know what? I could talk about my lore. Maybe that would be fun. Or maybe we'll do a tier list and then talk about lore. I'm not good at making decisions. Let's do one more tier list. Mix it up a bit so we're not just doing the same kind of thing. You know, some chatting, some doing a thing, some more chatting, some gaming. Sounds like a serial killer talking about more murderers. There will be more. Yeah, my closet is not yet so full of skeletons that they fall out when I open the door, so I have not killed enough people yet. So let's do another tier list. I have to find the window again. Wait, where'd I put it? It would probably be easier to find if this was my Discord, but maybe not. Maybe I'm lying to myself. Oh, there it is. Nice. Okay. We've got the office couples. We've got Star Trek characters. We've got... This one would take me forever, so I think I probably won't do this one. Because this would be really, really, really hard to pick. Because I want to just put them all in S tier. Yeah. So... We'll save that one for another time, maybe. I could do an entire stream of just that one tier list. Let's do the Star Trek one, since we did The Office already. We'll mix up fandoms a little bit. And then you guys can see how much of a nerd I am. Because I've watched the entirety of every Star Trek series through Voyager multiple times. I don't have problems, I swear. I was raised on Star Trek. So I think I'm allowed to be minorly obsessive. Let me fix this window though. I think this tier list is smaller than the last one, so it doesn't fit the same. We'll do that. That works. Okay. I almost am happy with this. Wait a second. My artist brain wants it to look nice. Okay, that's better. Okay. Next generation characters. I didn't see one for the original series. I think there was one, but that included like all kinds of side characters from different episodes. And it can be hard to tell what characters what from which episode in tiny little pictures of like a blurry screenshot from an old episode where a lot of the side characters were played by the same characters and only showed up like once, sometimes in one scene. Yeah, so I only want to do the main cast, and I didn't see one of those for the original series. So we're starting with the Next Generation, which is, in my opinion, the best Star Trek series anyway. I really like the original series, but you know, the Next Generation, they'd improved a bit in like storytelling and effects and whatnot, but the original creator was still like the lead writer for the Next Generation. After the Next Generation, he passed away, so like Deep Space Nine onwards, he did not write, but the Next Generation he was still writing, and also working with other people who I guess kept him in check, because I've heard he wanted to do some dumb things they didn't let him do or something like that, but I don't know. I really like the Next Generation, and I think it's got a really good cast of characters. My absolute favorite is Data, so he has to automatically go in S tier. Captain Picard, you can't not put in S tier, that would be a crime. I think Geordi I'd put in S tier too, because he goes with Data, and the two of them are my favorite duo, so there we go. That's our S tier. That's the entirety of S tier. Nah, cartoon is best. For those who don't know, the old Star Trek cartoon is awful. I haven't actually watched it, but it's like legendary for being awful. I need to watch it, just for fun. I bet it would be fun to watch. Have a laugh. Okie dokie. We've got my favorites up there. Secondary favorites? Worf. Worf is up there. He's really good. I really like Worf. They did him dirty in Deep Space Nine. I can't believe what they did to my boy. They wrote him completely different. He acted too human. He talked too much. He wasn't as cool. His romance with Jadzia Dax was awful. But I really, really like him in the Next Generation. He's such a cool character. And he, like, very clearly has a different culture, which is part of why it's so annoying that he acts more human in Deep Space Nine, because he's not human. He's Klingon. And that's very clear. There is, like, a cultural disconnect in the Next Generation that makes him, like, really interesting. And, you know, you kind of want to root for him as he's trying to, like, make his way in the human world. She's also really, really good. Yeah, we love strong female protagonists in old Star Trek. They were very good. I think Wesley Crusher I'd put in A tier as well. He's just really fun to, like, watch his growth and his, you know, you get to watch him grow up, because he's, like, a young teenager in, like, when he first joins. He's like really young, and then you watch him grow to adulthood and go off to the academy and everything. So yeah, that's kind of fun. I really like all these characters. It's hard to put any of them lower. We'll put Riker in B. This is high B. This is like, if there was a tier higher than S, then these guys would be in it. If there was a tier higher than A, these guys, well, then these two guys would be S tier and this would be A tier. But anyway, Riker goes there. He's a great character. He's also kind of a playboy, so he fits into some tropes, which is, like, not terrible. But I think because of that, that makes him a little bit less interesting than some of the, like, less tropey characters. But he's, like, a really good second in command? Yeah, he's good. She's really, really funny. I forget her name. Arashi can tell me her name in chat. He would know. But she is the doctor who replaces Dr. Crusher for a while, and she's just a sassy old lady, and we support her. And also, she's really good too. She's just a bartender. That's about it. But I mean, yeah, she's fun. Can't not love her. Let me see. Let me think. Because out of these, I'd say these three are my least favorite, but they're still really good characters. The question is, which one of them is the best of the three of them, and which one's the worst of the three of them? It's a hard decision. I feel like she really grows on me. She comes in near the end of the series, so like it's harder to get invested in her just because she hasn't been there the whole time. But she's actually really interesting, and she's the first oh, what do you call them? Their race. Why am I blanking on their name? They're like the main like whole thing in Deep Space Nine. Anyway, she's the first of their race that we see in the series. Because she kind of came in when they were starting to, like, introduce the idea of Deep Space Nine, so it was kind of like a way to transition, I feel like, to the next series and, like, the new characters and stuff. So yeah, she came in a little bit later, but she's really cool. I think I'd put her probably equal with her. She's got some fun plot lines and episodes and stuff. And then Crusher, you need to make yourself concentrate, so you have to leave for a bit. Okay. See you, Rice. Thanks for coming. And I'll see you when you get back. Dr. Crusher is a good character. But she does have some episodes that are kind of weird and not my favorite. And I think this is what makes Troy also a bit lower for me, is that a lot of the times they're weird episodes. They're kind of like together, you know, like they're both having conversations together and they're both kind of involved in the weirdness. So she gets some points knocked off for the weird bits with her. Like Arashi might be the only person who knows what I'm talking about, but the weird Irish ghost thing spirit she has a weird relationship with in an episode. So that brings her a little lower, but she's like a good mom. She's Wesley's mom, and she's a good doctor, and she's got a little thing with Picard that is kind of fun, kind of nice. I'm not much of a shipper, but like they just have a good adult relationship, I feel like. Aside from the fact that they've got a constant back and forth, it's not a back and forth even, it's like they're kind of just friends, but kind of not just friends for like the entire series, which is a little bit frustrating, but also not, because like they work together, so they can't really be more than friends. But yeah, there's that. So I think that's my my next generation tier list. For Voyager, I feel like it's a little easier because I was less invested in these characters, so I can be a little meaner to them. Let's see. My absolute favorite character is probably Harry. He's just a wholesome little bean. He's like the baby of the ship. He's like the new recruit that everyone takes care of, and I love him. He's just precious. And then Janeway, Captain Janeway. She's just like kind of a girl boss, but kind of just a mom at the same time. She's like strong and awesome, but also still like feminine and soft and gentle at the same time. So it's like perfect. She's like the ultimate role model of a woman. Oh, and the Doctor. I think I'd put him in S tier too. I think I have this weird thing where I really like the characters who are not human, like the androids and stuff. Like Data's my favorite from The Next Generation, mostly because of his whole like android trying to act like a human thing. And then Voyager, the Doctor, is a hologram, and I really like him. He's also just a really sassy guy though, and I love a just sassy, goofy guy. So that's the other reason he's up there. Need to make yourself I read that already. Okay. let's see. Okay, I'm gonna put Barkley. I actually am ignoring what these actually say, by the way. I'm treating this like S, A, B, etc. I didn't set this up. But anyway, he is a really good character. He's actually from the Next Generation, and if he was on this list, I probably would have put him on it in S tier still. Or A tier. S tier or A tier. One of the two. Maybe A tier. I don't know. But anyway, he's a really good character, and he's a character who like actually has anxiety, like doesn't just act like it's canon. And you know, this show's a little bit older, so I don't think we had a lot of like characters that were written at the time that like actually had like mental illnesses and anxiety and stuff like that. So he's a fun character because of that, but also because, you know, he has a lot of growth through the series, and he's really like passionate and cares a lot about people. And in Voyager, he's the one working to get them home, because they're like in another dimension trying to get home, and he's working on like creating a wormhole or doing something like that that can get them home, and finds a way for them to like interact with Earth so they can contact their family members and stuff. So while he's not a main character, he's not like on the bridge, you only see him in a few episodes really, he's still like a really important character. And he's a good bean. He gets a little crazy in an episode, but he just needs friends. 7 is hard. I think I'm gonna put her here. But 7 of 9, I really like, except for like one thing. Which leads me to Chakotay, who is also a really good character until the same thing. Because late in the series, they set up a romance between them that just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, they did not show any interest in each other, have no chemistry, and like they just act like regular like crewmates until one day all of a sudden they have feelings for each other, and then like it's like a back and forth between like, you know, they care about each other, and then suddenly they're acting like they're just crewmates and nothing more than that, and then all of a sudden they're in a relationship. And it's really weird, and I think it was writers disagreeing on things. And it's dumb. And I don't like it at all. So that's why they're, you know, not my favorites. Like, she would be probably up here if it weren't for that. That knocks her down a peg. That knocks him down a peg, because he was better before that. There's also a bit of an issue with him where he starts out like not wanting anything to do with the Voyager crew, and then all of a sudden the next episode he is like the perfect model Federation member. So it's a little fast. There could be more development there, but those are the two issues I have with him. Besides that, he's interesting. Oh, and his weird like Native American stuff, that it's like sci-fi Native American, and I think it's weird. I don't think it works that well. But anyway, yeah, he's a Native American character, which would be cool if it didn't end up being just weird the way they do it. What else? Let's see. He's a good character. I'm gonna put him with Chakotay. He's like, I'm less attached to him, but he's really good. And he's got good growth, and he's the cook. So we love a cooking man, except that they hate his food in the beginning, but I think he gets better at it, because his race just cooks way different than humans like to eat. I think I'd put these three together at the bottom. Tom is really fun, but he's the most fun with Harry, because they're like best friends. They're the duo. And without Harry, he's a little bit of a, like, you know, cool guy stereotype, but he's still fun. She's the model Klingon character. She's half Klingon. So she's got that whole like her human side and her Klingon side battling, and it's interesting, but I wouldn't say it's unique. And then we've got the Vulcan, who's a Vulcan. That's about it. He's cool, He's just a Vulcan. Yeah. Okay. I think that's it for those ones. Nice. Okay. So we've done our next tier lists. I was about to say tier list, but we did too. So I'm gonna drink more tea. I feel like I'm talking a lot, so my throat is drying out, kinda. So I apologize. But we could do this one next in a bit if we want to. Or we could just move on to something else and do that another time. Let's see. I wanted to talk a little bit about my lore, if you will. I'm gonna move this overlay thingy because I think it kind of gets in the way here. Now you can't see that text, but that's okay. Gotta get more tea, or I'll get some Dr. Pepper in a bit once I run out of tea. Because if I get more tea, that requires boiling more water and steeping the tea and waiting for it to cool a bit, and then, you know, you guys would have to wait for me to boil tea. So I might just get a drink from the fridge in the other room. But anyway, after this little tangent. So those of you who have seen the video that's kind of set up as the trailer for my channel have seen this little comic. If you haven't seen it, I'll go through them so you can see all the panels. But I kind of wanted to talk about my little planet here. On the top here. Boop, 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 boop. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, that right there. That's my home planet. And this comic was posted to, like, kind of tease my debut, but then I've never really talked about it afterwards or anything. It just kind of exists. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about, like, my my whole concept thingy here, to give you guys some more context about me. Yeah, so I came from this planet, obviously. Name pending. As you can see, it's got some pretty colors. I keep mousing over it as if you can see the mouse, and then I realize that you guys cannot see the mouse. I wonder if I can... No, I don't think I can show my mouse on here. Oh well. So, yeah. In this comic, it kind of shows how I find the StormSquadron ship and join the crew. Nothing all that extravagant or anything. Pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, we got some details here that I haven't really talked about, like this panel right here. With my drawings. You may notice all of these little doodles in this panel are the same character. And this is an actual character of mine. This is my OC Benny, who is kind of like my go-to OC to doodle when I don't know what to draw. I have no ideas in my brain. I kind of just like doodle him. And I go through phases where I don't draw him at all and where I draw him a lot. But he's like the one character that I like always return to at some point. So that's why I included him in here, because, like, you know, the concept in this comic is that, like, I'm out of ideas, I'm bored and unhappy with my life, and I need some kind of change to get my, like, motivation and inspiration back. So I kind of represented that by showing that the only character that I can doodle is, like, the character that is always in my brain, that I can always doodle, that I go to when I have no other ideas. And, like, you know, it's pretty basic doodles here. It's just kind of like him over and over again, which is like a theme of like a lot of my old doodles. I have like a lot of doodles that are just like this same character, like bust up, not really all that different, because I just didn't have any ideas and my brain was empty. And yeah, so that's that. And I actually don't have like a picture of him to show you guys. I should have prepared that so you could kind of see the character, but you know, that's basically what he looks like. You can kind of tell from that. He's just a little pink bunny. And we have this cute little pouty expression, which I still enjoy. I'm actually still kind of happy with how this comic looks, even though I drew it a while ago, and I usually hate my art after like a couple months. I think it helps that I went with something more simplistic. But like this is probably my favorite panel. I just like the pouty expression. Anyway, let me shrink this so I can show you guys the next page. Where'd it go? Okay. We've got another page. Oh, this is what I have stuff to talk about. Yeah, the first panels are kind of just self-explanatory, just storytelling. It's so cute, thank you! And hello, I don't think I've seen you in chat yet, Blue Sweater. Welcome to chat. If you've been lurking, thank you for lurking, and if you have not been and you just came in, welcome. Yeah, so I've got, you know, my story, you know, I'm just unhappy, and I stand up and I walk through my room. This is my room, my details. You can see here, oh, I didn't put hang on. I was about to talk about my little plushies here, but I want to show you. I think a lot of you have already seen this guy, but for those who haven't, you're not gonna know what I'm talking about if I don't have him on screen here. Ba-da-ba-da. Ba-da-ba-doo. Doop. He's huge. This is Bob. And Bob is one of my little mascot plushies. And then Stella Luna is my other mascot plushie. I don't have her with me here today, but she's the little cat plushie, the little round guy over here. So I've got Bob and Stella Luna, and I referenced to them in the comics. You can see I owned them before I joined StormSquadron. And then the two plushies next to them, the two teddy bears, are based on teddy bears that I actually own. The polar bear, the white one, is based on my IKEA polar bear, and then the little like brown or tan teddy is based on my Build-A-Bear Sebastian, which I've had since I was like 13. So they're precious little guys who I own and who stay with me in my room and stuff. And they kind of go together because I've kind of come up with a whole story for them and maybe designed OCs based on them and stuff. So they're important, so that's why they're in there. And then we see there's a doll on my shelf because I have a collection of, excuse me, I have a little collection of dolls, and particularly what she's kind of representing is that I have a collection of old porcelain dolls, specifically. You know, I have some modern plastic dolls, and then I have my porcelain dolls. And my porcelain dolls are kind of extra special because, one, they don't really sell them regularly anymore. You can't just go to a store and buy a porcelain doll these days. But I've had a lot of these dolls since I was like really little. This was something that my mom did for my sisters and I when we were younger. She would get us like one porcelain doll each for like Christmases and stuff. So we have this little collection. And my older sister, you know, she got to a point where she didn't like anything girly anymore and she didn't want her dolls. So she left them behind and doesn't want them anymore. So I've kind of acquired her collection, and then I have my own collection. Yeah, so I've amassed a nice little collection, and I wanted to reference that here too, with my little doll on the shelf. And then we have an egg, which is just an inside joke. I just slip in eggs places. That's a reference to a art contest community I joined years ago called Top OC. And we have an ongoing meme that's just adding in eggs places as an Easter egg. That's as far as that goes. I won't ever explain that again because I think it's funnier if a lot of people don't get it. But also this kitty on the bed This is a little sad, and I don't want to dwell on it too long to make you guys sad, but I don't have this kitty anymore. I did when I made the comic. This cat was like, I don't want to say my childhood cat, because it wasn't like it was my first cat. I was a little older, probably like 9 or 10 or so when we got her. But I had this cat for many, many, many years of my life, and she was my baby. She was my best friend. I was her favorite human. So I have her here in my comic. And like I said, like, she was still around when I made the comic. And although she's not anymore, I think, she's... Yeah, I think when I posted that video that she was in here, she was already not around, but I wanted to keep her in there. Both because, like, this comic is about, like, my past. It's not my present. So it makes sense that, you know, I'd have the pet that I had in the past in it. But also because, like, I wanted to have it, like, as a little memory of her, you know, to remember her by. Have her here as a part of my history. But yeah, that's Luna. She was a very, very, very sweet cat. And someday I will get another one that I hope will be as sweet, but can't guarantee that because she was a special cat, and I can't get a cat right now, unfortunately. I wish. Someday. This page is just more story content. There's not like Easter egg stuff really here to talk about. I'll just show you guys the comic page for those who haven't seen it. Tying my shoes. You can get a close-up at my shoes. You don't get to see them often, because usually you only see the top of me here. But if I can find... there we are. If I move up here, you can see I've got these shoes on. I always have them, you just can't see. They're hidden. Hidden shoes. But yes, my shoes. Fly high, kitty. Indeed. And then we see the StormSquadron ship. In the window. And this reflection, I've never really drawn a reflection like this before, so I was really worried that it would not come across well, but I think it worked. My little thingies, my little sleeves. Not much else to say about that one. And then we've got the final panel. This one was really fun to draw, I'm not gonna lie. I'm still kind of happy with it. My favorite part, though, is just the ship. Look how good this ship looks. Oh, Bob, you're hanging out on top there. Excuse me. I'm so happy with the way this ship turned out. Look at that. I don't draw ships or geometric things much, because I don't think I'm very good at them. But I think this looks pretty good. You love the art style a lot? Thank you. I'm really glad. It is a little different than what I'm used to drawing, like the style of it. I went with something a little different, and I'm happy I did, because I feel like it's interesting, it's different, it's a little bit whimsical. Yeah, and we've got the silhouette of the tree in the front. I really like that part. I feel like I did a really good job with the tree silhouette. It looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. My dramatic silhouette of myself with my hair flowing in the wind, I think that worked pretty well too. And it's just kind of like a simplistic illustration that like has a whole story to it, which is fun. But again, I'm most proud of the ship. I think the ship looks really good. That's the StormSquadron ship. My crew ship, my cargo ship that Arashi owns and pilots, that I'm kind of just the generic crew member of. I don't do much, but... No, but I do, I promise. I'm a very diligent crew member, I swear. This is my original concept art for my planet, which you saw in the very, very beginning of the comic, and in that last panel as well. This is that planet. I drew this quite a bit before I made the comic. This was like a while ago that I made this, like years ago. And so this was my idea of my home and what it looked like. It's like, you know, just a rough idea. And then the design for the house, you can tell, looks a bit different. Here it was more like a hut, but I changed it to be more like just a little like country home rather than like a hut, because I clearly have a modern look to me, and I didn't want to like have a not so modern look. Yeah, but there's that. It's simple. My colors, I got like purple, blue, pink, orange, nice warm tones. And here I've got some little notes about the flora and fauna from my planet. So you can see here that it's not a super special different planet, you know. It's similar to Earth in like climate, in like the nature and stuff like that. You know, it's got one sun. The climate is similar temperatures and whatnot to Earth, but it's got some different wildlife. Thank you, Blue Sweater, for the birthday wishes. So we've got berries. Very creative with this one. And berries are, you know, the common berries. You might have seen them in the last slide. And they're little red berries that grow on bushes. And when they're not quite ripe, they're more of a light pink color. And they have a mix of tartness and sweetness to them. Because bears, you know, we like sweet things. And berries, they're called that because they are a common sweet treat. You know, common sweet little treat among us bear folk. And, you know, if they were all tart, we wouldn't like them very much. But they do have some tartness to them. Because, you know, there are like these wild red berries, which tend to be pretty tart. So they're kind of similar to cranberries, but much sweeter. They almost taste like if you put a whole bunch of honey in a cranberry and made it like a sweet and also tart kind of thing. They're used a lot of times in like pastries and baked goods, which are delicious, and also a lot of bear folk use them in alcohol. You know, they have breweries for these things. Pretty good stuff, probably. I still have to try it myself. So they are slightly toxic to some animals, but they're not toxic to us. Toxic? It's kind of like how humans will eat like spicy things and really like it, but animals can't because they're actually like slightly toxic, but to humans like they're a good treat. That's kind of like what the berries are, except they're just like kind of tart instead of spicy. Sweet little treat. They are sweet little treats. And then we've got the emerald nightlight mushrooms, which was also in my little concept sketch. As you saw, they grow up trees and stumps. They're like a squishy, fluffy, spongy, like pancake-like texture. And they glow at night. So that's why they're called nightlight mushrooms. They're little neon green, glowing mushrooms. And as you can see, a lot of the colors of like the wildlife and the grass and stuff on the planet is like purples and blues and pinks. But these green mushrooms really stand out against that stuff. So you can see these things pretty easily, which is pretty cool. Spicy things are toxic to humans too, they just don't care. This is true. Yeah, humans just eat toxic things anyway. I do enjoy the taste of spicy things, but I really can't handle spicy things very well, so I really can't blame humans. When I eat spicy things, I am like literally making myself suffer for the flavor. So, yeah, I understand humans. Yeah, the common carpet grass, it's called that because it's like soft and plush grass. If you think of like walking around in grass where it's been like really soft and comfortable on your feet, it's like that kind of grass, which is really nice. I can go around barefoot, which I like to do. I like walking in grass with no shoes. I just heard a noise. Someone's upstairs. It's fine. Okay. I was just listening to see if someone was like coming down if they needed me or something, but no, I think they're just walking around. Anyway. Yeah. I mentioned the coloration of these things. See when they're like drying out to become more pink than purple. And then we've got just a few little common critters. Shag carpet, yeah. Shag carpet grass. So just a few little critters down here at the bottom. I didn't have time to add in a whole lot of them, because that would be like a whole nother slide. And I started working on this like a few days before the stream, like did not think about it that hard or prepare ahead of time really. But see, we've got some little rodents, some little slugs, a frog thingy, and then a little like bug, common bug. So this is the kind of some of the kind of creatures. So they're similar to Earth creatures, but just a little bit different, a little more whimsical and colorful. Well, not colorful. Rainforest creatures on Earth are really colorful too. But yeah, hope that gives you a little bit of an idea about my planet. It's not anything too crazy, but it's fun. I think Earth creatures are also just as fun though. Oh, and then this I thought I'd just include in here as like a little. Oh, I forgot there's a background on this. Anyway, like to talk about my my history as a creator a bit. This is my original live 2D model that I drew, Arashi rigged. I haven't really used this thing much. Ew, yeet it out of there. Wait, come back. Come back. Wait. I can't reach it now. Wait, I bet I can reset the positioning of it. But as I was saying, as I try to figure this out, where'd it go? What? Oh, I minimized the folder. Duh. Okay, so, I haven't used it much because, my computer can't handle live 2D. Arashi rigged, as he said. I don't see a thing to reset its positioning. It's gone forever. Sorry, guys. I can just pull up the image of it. It was pretty much the last thing on the slideshow. There was one more, but I'll pull them both up. So, yeah, my computer can't really handle live 2D. It, last time I tried to run VTube Studio, it crashed. This computer I'm using right now can handle it, but I don't know if it can handle it and stream, so I just haven't risked it. But also, I drew this, like, forever ago. And yes, it's huge now. Hang on. I think when I drew this was October of 2020. When, like, the VTuber craze was really at its... it was rising. It was on the rise. I think, Hololive EN had just kind of come out. HoloMyth was new. Everyone was excited about the idea, and so they were all kind of jumping on the bandwagon, and people were getting excited about the whole VTuber thing. And so I was like, well, now's the time for me to hurry up and make my stuff. And then I made this model in like a few days, maybe like 2 days. Like, it was super fast that I did this thing. And then I sent it to Arashi to rig, and I was like, I am going to start making VTuber content by the end of the month. And then that didn't happen. And it took us like, what, another 2 years, 3 years to actually, for all of us to debut? I think, like, last year. Yeah, so that probably would be 3 years. Yeah, so I drew this like 4 years ago. I don't really like it anymore. But, you know, maybe I'll use it a bit before I retire it. It's not horrible. I just feel like I could do better. But yeah, that's my my first form as a content creator that I made. And if you watch my debut video that's on the StormSquadron channel, I used this model in that. So you can kind of see it moving around, schmoovin'. And the last image I had to show you guys was kind of a teaser for something that's still gonna take a while to be a thing because of what I've just mentioned of, like, I can't really use live 2D all that much, but I am working on this chibi model because I have a problem. And specifically, I wanted to try rigging myself. So I made myself a model that I could try out rigging that would be a little more simple. Both would not take me as long to draw, and also might be a little bit easier to rig because it's a little less detailed, has less layers and whatnot to worry about. So I have this chibi model, and this is obviously not the whole model. It's just kind of a teaser. And it will probably be a while before I actually get this thing rigged. I've thought about doing some streams where you guys can kind of join me figuring out how to rig it, but I have to figure out how well it runs first before I can tell you if I'm going to do that or not. But yeah, this is a thing that is kind of up and coming that I'm working on. And I think it's way cuter than my regular model that I'll eventually redraw, but I'm not going to redraw the official other model until I have a more substantial computer that can run it really well. But I'll work on this one. And that's it. That's all of that stuff that I wanted to share with you guys. So, remove that. And I'm going to pull this back up. I forgot I was gonna do a poll for you guys. Hang on. How many of you are in here? Not a ton. So I was gonna do some community games, but what games we do kind of depend on how many people are in here and going to participate. And I think a lot of people are kind of like busy right now while they're watching. So like I know Arashi cannot join in because he's at work. So maybe we won't do the community games because like that would kind of stink if I pulled up this game for you guys and then you were like, man, I want to join, but I can't. So I need to move this thing. It's not. Why is it yeeting away like that? Okay, well. It just decided it was not gonna work for me. I don't know why OBS is being kind of weird and buggy. You will leave early. So you wanna play Helldivers when you get home? Is that what you're saying? We could do that. What? Scuff? No? There's no scuff here. What are you talking about? You're seeing things. You're delusional. I've never had scuff in my life. I am going to put my my overlay back in here though because it did the yeeted away thing and I can't get to it anymore. I don't know why it did that, because I literally just tried to move, like, expand it slightly to actually fit in the borders because it was not fitting correctly, but I should have just left it imperfect. My not OCD, my artist brain, that's what I call it, my artist brain did not like that it wasn't perfect. Well, we'll leave work now with 2 hours on the clock still to play Helldivers. You are also lying. Good to know. I mean, we could play Helldivers later. When you're actually off. We could do that on the StormSquadron channel and move over there. And, force people to join us. I don't know if... Hang on. I don't know if people are available. I'm literally gonna go check Lock's schedule right now. Because I would absolutely bother Locke to play with us, but I don't remember if he's busy today. Checking Locke's schedule. Sunday. Scrapyard Sunday, 12 p.m. So he's busy at 12 p.m. Maybe. Maybe before Locke's stream, we could do some Helldivers with if he want. I mean, we don't have to make him join either, but maybe we could convince him to join. Lucas, do you have the first Helldivers or just 2? Because I feel like you could probably join us too, but I don't know if you have the first one. Because Arashi has 2, but I only have the first one. So yeah, I can only play 1. What else am I looking for? I want to put my overlay back in. That's what I want to do. I'm renaming it too. Using this as an excuse to rename the file. Hang on. There it is. It's back, baby. And it's snapping again. I was having issues with it before stream where it was just not snapping to the corners of the screen, and that's why it was not 100% perfect. And I don't know why it was doing that. But I got to move it down now. There we go. That's better. In the desert. Oh. Yeah, I guess you can't play while you're in the desert. Understandable. Another time then. We can force you to play a game with us another time. Maybe I will do the other office tier list because I think we have time for it since I'm cutting out community games because I think my community is busy and not able to game right now, so that'd be kind of pointless to pull up my community games that you guys currently cannot join since one of you is currently in the desert, one of you is currently at work. Let's see. Just checking my schedule to see if there's anything I'm missing. Okie dokie. My only other thing I have written down to potentially do that I really think I'm gonna do in a different stream instead, and I kind of had that mental note already, was making a character with you guys. My thought for this, I will do it in another stream, but you guys can let me know if you like the idea and maybe get a little excited for that if you think it's cool. Maybe I'm just crazy. But anyway, I was kind of thinking to start off with this character, we would start just writing some details about them, maybe coming up with a story for them. So we can like write up a description, their personality, their basic traits, maybe some important like visual details, what their basic storyline is, and then after we get all those details, then we can design them. We can kind of come up with like a story and a character concept together. I thought that'd be fun. Like you guys tell me like what kind of details you want in the character and stuff like that. I thought about doing that in this stream, and then I was like, no, that's really a concept for a completely separate stream, because that could be its own stream in an entirety. And right now I wouldn't be able to do the design part because I don't have my drawing tablet plugged into this computer. It's not set up. So I would only be able to do the writing part anyway in this stream. So since I'm not doing it in this one, we can do, you know, the concept and the design in one stream probably. So let me pull up our tier list and get it. Oh, wrong thing. Get it set up and aligned better. And then we can complain about office couples together. Or you guys can tell me that I'm wrong and you don't agree with my takes. That's fine too. Does sound fun. A whole stream for it also seems like a better idea. Yeah. I think that would be a whole ordeal. And it also, you know, people can kind of get the idea that that's what I'm doing in that stream, and people who are interested in that kind of thing can come in. rather than just people who are here to celebrate my birthday. So yeah, I think it really deserves its own stream. But I really want to do some writing stuff with you guys, because like I said during our Q&A, I was a writer before I was an artist, but I haven't really flexed my writing abilities much in recent years. I've been more focused on the art thing. So I think it would be quite nice to get to show off that I am a writer as well as an artist, and kind of come up with a little story character thingy with you guys. And one day I'll bring out my typewriter for a stream, but that's for another time. Okay, let's get to the tier list. First thing I'm gonna do here is pick out these ships that I actually like. Let me sip my tea. So there are only 2 S-tier ships in the office. And they're kind of self-explanatory. They're kind of what everyone would say is the only S-tier ships, probably. Michael, Scott, and Holly. I'm gonna be honest. I think I care more about Michael, Scott, and Holly than I do Jim and Pam, which might be a hot take. That might be dangerous territory, because Jim and Pam is like the relationship. They're like the main storyline of the first few seasons of The Office, and the first few seasons are really the best. They have the most put together story, I feel like the storyline up until Jim and Pam get together is like, it's the best written, in my opinion. It really gets you like excited, on the edge of your seat. Like, you really want to see what happens with them. So that they're you know, obviously the main thing. They're obviously S tier. They're important. But when Michael and Holly like finally are together and happy and have the life they want, it's so satisfying. Because Michael goes from being absolutely horrible, nobody likes him, to being like, you know, growing and seeing that, like, you know, he's capable of being better and being good. He's making progress as a human being. And then we see that he's like really, really lonely and sad, and like that really contributes to his annoyingness. And like, we can kind of see that he honestly would be better with someone, because a lot of his issues just stem from the fact that he doesn't have like friends and someone to love, and he just needs someone. So like, eventually when you do start to like Michael Scott, you just really want him to like have someone and to be happy. So like, it's just really, really satisfying when he and Holly are like finally actually together properly and all that. It's a little bit of a roller coaster ride with them, but they're really wholesome and they're dorky, and she compliments him surprisingly well. So these two are definitely both S tier. They're the only ones. The rest of the characters in The Office are kind of awful. Awful in like a not good person way, not in a bad character way. Let me see. Who's my second favorite? Like, the next in line to be like a good relationship. I'm gonna be honest, probably these... No, not her. These two? Like, I feel like they're not that big of a thing, they're not that important. They come in at the end, pretty much. Like, she's not in that much of the show. And they do have a little bit of drama where, like, she's still dating someone when she's, like, very obviously interested in him, and it's a little bit awkward for a bit. But they just seem to be good together. Not much to say about that one, you know? They just seem like they're a good fit. I don't know. What else? I mean, Angela and Dwight, I'm really mixed on. My relationship with myself is the best. Sure. Okay. I'm glad you love yourself, I guess. But it's hard to say whether or not I like Dwight and Angela, because they're awful. They're both kind of awful people. They're, like, not even the best to each other. They have a lot of rough moments. But, like, ultimately, like, nobody is better for them than they are. Like, there's no one better for Dwight than Angela. There's no one better for Angela than Dwight. They just work together. Partially because they're both absolutely insane. I think I'll put them in A tier. Not because they're like, ooh, so cute, I love them, ooh. Like, no, absolutely not. They're kind of weird. But they're perfect together. They're made for each other, and I think I don't know. Yeah. Out of the mess that is office relationships, surprisingly, they're probably up there in one of the better relationships, even though they're not that great. They're kind of weird, but like, yeah, there are a lot of really not great relationships in the office. It's rough. I think after them, where are they? Do they not have them on here? Wait a second. Oh, here they are. I just missed them. I'm gonna put them in B. And the reason they're only in B is because I kind of hate Aaron. I do not like Aaron as a character. I do not like what they did with Aaron. I do not like how Aaron treats Andy. Like, there's a lot of things about Aaron that's not great. And they're back and forth, like, you know, they have the, like, back and forth where they don't want to admit they like the other, but they both like the other, and it takes a while for them to actually get together, and it's, like, a little bit frustrating because they're both idiots. It's not even like a Jim and Pam where, like, they obviously should be together, but there are reasons why they're not. They're just idiots. They're just stupid. So it's a little frustrating, but it's, like, kind of funny at the same time. But when they do get together, then Aaron breaks up with Andy for something stupid, and then they get back together again, and then Aaron breaks up with Andy for something stupid again. It's kind of painful. But they're good together for the short amount of time that they're actually together. And then all the rest of the drama is obnoxious. And then I guess these two, I don't really care about them, but clearly they're happy together. The one thing that would bring them farther down the list is that clearly Phyllis is not the most faithful wife. There are some references to her being interesting. But anyway, the only reason I think she goes up in B and not in C is because there are way worse. At least they're in a happy relationship. They're happily married. Obviously, Pam and, what's his name? Why am I blanking on his... Roy. Pam and Roy are D tier. They're at the bottom because they're just not a good relationship at all, and that's the point. These two... I'm gonna be honest, they deserve their own tier. They deserve an F tier. Just for these two. They'd be the only ones down there in F tier. They get their own tier that's separate from everybody else because they're just that awful. Jan is just that bad. She's just... No, she's awful. She's not great. We don't like Jan. That's about it. She makes Michael unhappy. And Michael tries to convince himself he's happy, but he's really not happy. That's about it. Also, Ryan and Kelly are awful. That's the point of them. They're not great at all. She's awful, he's awful, they're awful for each other. Yeah. Enough said, I think. Jim... I think Jim and this girl I'd put in D tier. She's just boring. She's just kind of a typical ditzy white girl, and Jim is literally only with her because he can't have Pam. That's like the only reason. Like, he clearly doesn't really care about her. So they're down there as well. Surprisingly, Andy and Angela are not horrible together. But they go in C and not in B because Angela is awful. She doesn't show Andy any respect. She clearly doesn't want to be in a relationship. She's only in it because he's safe or whatever. So yeah, they go in C tier because like they work together, but she's not it. And I'll also put Angela and the Senator in the same category Because, you know, they're fine together. Angela's happy with him, but he's also gay and doesn't care about her, so, you know, same kind of thing, except the reverse scenario. These two, I'm not sure why they're on here, because I don't think they're ever actually an official couple. Toby just thinks they are. So we'll put them in D tier as well, because she doesn't like Toby at all, but he thinks that she does, so he's, like, pushes boundaries a bit. So a little cringy. Like, I don't even find them funny, I'm gonna be honest. Toby just creeps me out a bit in this situation, which is a little sad. But there's that. I hate them. Maybe I should talk about that later. No, we'll talk about it now. Aaron and the new guy. I don't even remember his name. He's so forgettable. He's so boring. He's kind of there only at the end of the series. There's no reason why he should be there. He kind of just comes in as the new Jim character, and he's not even as likable as Jim. He's kind of just there. And then Aaron leaves Andy for him. And I don't like that whole plot line. They kind of destroy Andy as a character. And I liked Andy. He was a really good manager. I really liked him in his manager arc. And then they destroyed him. And they made Aaron leave him. And they did him dirty. So because of that, I hate these two. Jim and... I'm blanking on her name. Wait, what's her name? Why am I blanking on her name? I swear I brain fart more on stream than I do off stream. I can usually remember these characters' name, but once I'm streaming, I'm like, what is words? Who is characters? Huh? I'm really blanking on her name. Karen. Her name's Karen. She's kind of a Karen. I don't like Jim and Karen at all. A lot of people do. I've had conversations with quite a few people who say that they would really like Jim and Karen if it weren't for Pam. And I disagree. Because if you pay attention to subtle cues, they actually are nothing alike and don't really work together from the beginning. Even before they're in a relationship. Streamer brain! It's a thing, apparently. Yeah, but like... Karen, honestly... like, doesn't even respect Jim when she meets him. She doesn't get his humor. She thinks he's, like, dorky and weird. And then, like, she decides she has a crush on him. Like, kind of woman behavior, I'm not gonna lie. Like, she being like, I don't understand this guy. I think he's a weirdo. But I have a crush on him. Like, that just feels like a thing a woman would do. And then she, despite not being anything like him and thinking he's a dork, starts, like, dating him. And is, like, crazy about him, I guess. But then still doesn't get his humor. Doesn't really like the things he likes. They fight constantly. Like, I don't know. They're just not good together. Like, they're just not. And sure, they have some really fun moments. Like, you know, there are moments when, like, they do a prank together and it's fun. Or, like, there's the moment at, Phyllis's wedding. When, like, Karen gets up on stage and is, like, singing and dancing around and just being a little bit, like, energetic and fun. And Jim is, like, really enjoying that side of her. And then, oh, that's a fun moment. That's kind of cute. Except that the rest of their relationship is not great. They just don't have a good foundation. They don't have enough in common. I don't like them. But a lot of people do, and I think they miss all those subtle cues. Swear there's a lot of intentional character assassination within later episodes. Absolutely. I think a later writer didn't like some of the characters and tried to destroy them. Because, like, Toby becomes a creep. Andy becomes weird. Kelly's always been bad. There's not much I can say about Kelly. Kelly almost gets a redemption act. And then they ruin it in the last episode. Yeah, I think it's mostly just Andy and Toby that get the worst of it. Well, there's actually a bit with Jim too, but they at least fix that. Jim and Pam have their rough moment, but they work it out. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in later seasons that I don't like, but there's still, like, good moments throughout them. Quoting Karen, he's cute and went way out of his way to get my snackies. Is this love? Essentially. Yeah. Karen, in a nutshell. Oh my gosh, he spent all day getting me chips. Ooh woo. And he's a cutie. Who wouldn't have a crush on him? Yeah, but I don't like Karen very much. I think she's immature. And I think her not being with Jim and moving away was good for her. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Jim was good for her. And I think she probably grew and became a better person and was probably like better off when Jim was out of the picture and she was married to someone else. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. And obviously Jim shouldn't be with anyone who's not Pam. That's kind of a given, because he likes Pam throughout the entire series and only dates other girls because he can't have Pam and he's sad and trying to forget Pam. Anyway, let's see. What else we got here? We've got Oscar and the Senator. I'm gonna put them in the same tier as Angela and the Senator. This is an awkward bit here when, Angela and Oscar are kind of best friends, but also Oscar's kind of dating her husband, but also, oh, it's interesting. I like Oscar, but he's also kind of a terrible person and does a lot of not great things throughout the series. To be fair to Karen, he went way out of his way for a mundane thing. He really did. And I think he did that because that's just Jim. He's just a nice guy and he just does those kinds of things, and he's blowing off work, so it's like fun for him. But like, it's really easy for people to read that kind of behavior as signs of affection. And like, I'm sure it was, in a way, like, friendly affection. I don't think it was more than friendly affection at that point. But I think like by the end of that episode was when he thought she was like kind of cute or whatever. But yeah, no, I think, you know, he does some good things for her, but that doesn't mean they're a good couple. Yeah. Women don't mistake, like, gifts and sweetness for, good chemistry. It's not always, it doesn't always mean you're good together. Let's see. These ones are hard. I feel like this one isn't obvious. They're obviously bad. They're obviously bad for each other. They're not a good relationship, like, at all. There's this funny thing about this guy. What's his name? Gabe. I, like, always forget Gabe's name, and then it comes to my mind, like, immediately after I say what's his name. But Gabe is really funny. I really enjoy Gabe as a character, but I really don't enjoy Gabe as a person. I think Gabe's character. I feel like that's the right word. The thing about Gabe is that the writers did a really good job of making a character that nobody likes. Like, I'm pretty sure the fandom is kind of in full agreement that he's kind of a creep and nobody likes him. He's kind of a man baby. He's like whiny and annoying, and he's like, in a way, he's like Toby's role, but worse. Where he kind of fills that role where when Michael Scott was boss and he was constantly fighting with Toby and saying Toby takes the fun out of everything. He's kind of does that, but for the entire office and to a way worse degree. He's a creep. Yeah. As Arashi said, he is a creep. He's a nerd in, like, not a good way. He's the bad kind of nerd. He's like, you know, there are good kinds of people who are interested in Japanese culture, and then there are like the creepy weird kinds of people who are into Japanese culture, and he's the latter. Like, he has his room of Japanese merch and like makes a big deal about how he went to Japan once. I think it was like a semester. He's like, I went to Japan for one semester and it was the best moment of my entire life, and like he's so proud about it. He's a loser. What is he doing here? He doesn't belong here. Okay. He's part of Saber. He needs to be here. He's the Saber representative. He's so important. And like, he and Aaron are together for a while. They're an important couple. And he makes a big deal, like, when Aaron breaks up with him, he tries so hard to win her back, and it's like, she'll see she's still in love with me, but no. And he goes crying to Andy. Him trying to threaten Andy is the most pathetic thing I've ever seen in my life. Him being like, you'd better not go after her, or else. But he's, like, in tears, and, like, can barely squeak it out. He sounds like a baby. Oh. He's so bad, but it's so funny. You have to say. Okay, fine. He's a creep. He's a weirdo. What the hell is he doing here? He don't belong here. He doesn't. Yeah, he wishes he was special. He does. He really wishes he was special. And then we've got Kelly's other two relationships. And the reason I saved these for last is because Kelly's not great. But, like, these two guys are great. Like, she has some absolutely fantastic dating options, and then she ruins the relationships. But with this guy, the other Indian, I don't remember his name. He's only near the end, and they only have a relationship for a short time. But they're actually surprisingly good together. Like, I feel like he tames the crazy in her, as weird as that sounds. Like, she's actually somewhat normal with him. And, like, they work. And it's surprising how well they work. And then in the very last episode, she takes off with Ryan and ruins it all. Like, she had a chance to have a normal, happy life, and she blew it. But before that, they're pretty good. I'm gonna actually put them in B tier, I think. Because, like, they're pretty good together, surprisingly. These two... Oh, it's tough whether they belong in C or D. He can fix her. Yeah, he can fix... Oh! I didn't mean to do that. Wait, come back. He can fix her. He could have. He could have fixed her if she didn't run away. But the thing about these two... he tries to fix her. And it doesn't work. And I really like him as a character, but I don't like Kelly, and I think they're not good together. I think he really only dates Kelly because she's cute. That's, like, really the only reason. He's like, yeah, she's a cute Indian girl. What am I supposed to do? She wanted him, and he went, heck yeah. And then he regretted it. And he tries to kind of tame the crazy in her. And it doesn't work. And he's just miserable. And it's kind of sad, because I like him. But the moment when Kelly breaks up with him, when she gets back with Ryan convinces her to finally text him to say they're breaking up. Yeah, they text. She texts him that she's breaking up with him. Actually, Ryan types up the text and she sends it. But anyway, he gets the text and he's just cool. And then he's happy. He's like dancing from joy. You can tell they were not good together. Yeah. So you can tell there's a downward trend here in office relationships. Most of them are really not great. And then there's two really good ones. So yeah. You can disagree with my takes if you like, but I'm right. There's also a few details about characters that I'm not going to spoil because Arashi has not gotten to that point yet. I've already spoiled way too much for him. It's cool. Yeah, his literal response to being broken up with. I love him. He's so funny. Yeah. I don't know what now. We've done all our tier lists. What? Wait a second. We don't need the cookie notification. Anyway, yeah, there's that. I think we're done with that. We've been going for over 2 hours. Maybe it's a good time to wrap up. I forgot about these. Hello, Bob. Bob says hi. We could just do a little bit of chatting and then end stream. Yeah, because I don't think there's much else for us on our schedule. We'll do community games in another stream when more people are free who would like to join them. Maybe that's one I'll do earlier in the day because I know a lot of my active chatters are in European time zones. And so when I do streams that are in the evening for me, they don't tend to be able to join. So that might be why our active chatters are not here right now, really. Aside from Arashi. Yeah, so there's that. There's that. I swear there were things I was gonna talk about in a second, but pull out my notes. We did that. Oh! some news. Some interesting news. I don't think many people really care about this because I don't think many people really follow all the HoloStars members. However, Gerard T. Rexford of HoloStars English commented on my fan art. I was delighted. And I was not just delighted because he commented, I was delighted by his comment. Because he revealed, hello Locke, been lurking, but knee is feeling like you what did you do to your knee? No, not the knee. I feel you though on knee pains. I get weather dependent knee pains. We hate knee pains. I don't know what it is about knees specifically, but man, knees hurting is pretty rough. Yeah, but Gerard had a mascot reveal recently. Maybe I can pull it up for you. Let me hide my window just in case, just to be safe. And then I will pull up his little mascot thingy so you know what I'm talking about because it's so cute. Gotta pull up the X. It'll still come up if I type Twitter, right? Will it come up? Maybe I'll just type x.com or whatever. If you just type an X into Google, I don't know if the website X will come up. Last night was pain. Felt like a screwdriver was stabbed under the cap. That stinks. I am so sorry. That sounds rough. Okay, so here's the mascot. Give me 1 second and I'll put it visible again. There it is. Look at this thingy. Let me move the window for you. Look at it. It's so cute. This is the sorority, aka Gerard's fans. Little sorority members. They're so cute. Knee pain? I barely even know her. Oh, shut up. You and your perfect painless body. Oh, but look how cute this little guy is. Alive, but at what cost? Exactly. I love this little guy. He's so round. He's so puntable. But anyway, Gerard is mean to his fans. This is how small they are. He's so tiny. Apparently they are intentionally sports ball size. So that they're kickable. Cause Gerard is a bully. He abuses his fans. He, apparently, the only thing we're allowed to eat is breadcrumbs and a few grains of rice. That's our entire diet. We don't even get whole pieces of bread. We're not allowed to have bread, only the crumbs. And we work in the mines, all day. And, we get berated and abused and kicked around and squished. And, there's so much good fan art of people just abusing these things. They're so good. Literal ball. So round. But I drew this thing because look at it. And also just breaking into their food stores. Yeah, absolutely we should. I don't think this is logged into my... Oh, it would be logged into my account because these are my bookmarks. So I can show you guys my fan art. There you go. So I drew this because yeah, he's mean to us. And this mental image was in my head the entire reveal stream because he kept just abusing chat and like being mean and like, you know, this kind of behavior, and it was so funny. So so I drew the little sorority member licking up his crumbs and crying. And Apparently, he woke up to this. And I love that this is my legacy in the community. It is perfect. This is my favorite thing. So I've gotten a like from Callie and I think one other member, and I forget who it was. Was it Ame or Kiara? Maybe? I don't remember. But like now I have a legacy of getting like 2 likes and 1 comment from Holo Pro members. You'll be able to stream again. Nice. Been popping cough drops all day. Oh, so your throat's doing better now? I hope it's good. Back to sometimes the throat issues last for way longer than they have any right to. Like I'll be like sick for 2 days and then have a cough and throat issues for like a month. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I hope it's clearing up. Need to start making fan art. Gonna start a collection. Good luck. GG. Well, you gotta make some really cursed GG art. She might enjoy that. Speaking of GG though, I did also want to talk a bit about Holo Justice, the new gen, cause I love them. I'm kind of deciding who my new favorites are, of the gen, of the group. I really thought that Cecilia would be my favorite based on her design before their debut. I was like, that's it. That one, I'm gonna love her. She's so pretty. She's like got like musical, gentle vibes, but she is not that. She's not gentle and soft by any means, which I think is honestly even better. The contrast. But she's pretty fun. But surprisingly, I think my favorites are Elizabeth and Laura. It's hard to choose between the 2 of them. But like Liz, like her voice is incredible. And she's just so sweet and supportive of like all the other members. Like she's very supportive of Hollow Stars, which is great because not all of the girls are. And she like has sent her fans to support other members. Like first she sang Bettel's song, Unlucky. And then as a result of her singing that in a karaoke, her first karaoke stream, then like a whole bunch of people went and discovered the music video of Unlucky. And like she got a whole bunch of comments. He got a whole bunch of comments from her fans talking about how great the song was. So like that was pretty awesome. And then in another karaoke stream that I was in, she, instead of redirecting to someone else's stream, she sent the link for one of Ollie's original songs and had her fans go and comment some encouragement for Ollie because she's going through a rough time right now. And that was just like really, really, really sweet and made me really happy that she did that. So like things like that make me like really like Liz. I think she's got a really good attitude. And then Raura's just adorable. I don't know what else to say. Just a really cute Italian girl. And Cecilia and Gigi are hilarious. They feed off of each other and they're so chaotic, and I did not really expect that of Cecilia, but man, she is like the more chaotic, like the more quiet chaotic. Like you immediately look at her and you don't expect her to be chaotic, and then suddenly she's doing the most chaotic things. And then Gigi's just like the loud kind of chaotic. So they like complement each other without being exactly the same. They're kind of like sisters or something. They're kind of funny. The entire group of them, they're like a little family where Liz is the mom and like Cecilia and Gigi are the chaotic children, Gigi being the baby, and then Raura is, I think Arashi and I decided earlier that she's the weird uncle. But she's so cute. So cute. Anyway, go support Hollow Justice and Hollow Stars. Please give Hollow Stars love. They don't get as much love as the girls because girls cute, but boys can be cute and chaotic. They're really more chaotic than they are cute, but they're fun. Yeah. That's all I have to say about those guys, I guess, for now. I can't annoy you guys too much with Hollow Pro talk. Yeah. I have enough to say in other streams too. No. No what? No don't stop? Or no... No what? No you won't support the boys? Or no the boys can't be cute? I said too many things in too short a time. I talk too fast. This is a problem of mine. I need to work on it. So, we've been cleaning out storage recently. Like, getting rid of, like, a bunch of our stuff, sorting through things, because we're trying to get rid of a storage unit. And, I found my copy of Spore, which is, like, one of my favorite computer games ever. I've had it for a long time. And, I have the actual disc, right? And I found it! Hello, Rice! Welcome back! Yeah, I found my copy of Sport. And I'm happy. And I found a bunch of other stuff, too. Like a bunch of our old VCRs. A lot of our Blue's Clues collection. Arashi would be happy about that. Arashi, I found a bunch of our Blue's Clues collection. We were raised on that. That was his favorite. I mean, it was kind of my favorite too, but like, it was from his childhood first, because he's older than me. I haven't found yet Blue's Big Musical, which is the movie that it's a Blue VCR, and I haven't found it yet. But I found a whole bunch of the series. They came like 2 episodes in one VCR. So I have a bunch of those that I found. And I found our old copy of Snow White with the case. Surprisingly, most of our VCRs don't have cases anymore, but Snow White still has the case, which is wild. Blue's Clues is good. Blue's Clues is one of the best kids shows, if I do say so myself. I do say that. Yes. Before Joe, though, like, Joe's okay, but, really original era Steve Blue's Clues is the good stuff. That's the real good Blue's Clues. Especially early era Steve. I feel like he... I'm trying to decide. Like, he probably got a little better at acting as the series goes on, but he also lost some of the soul. Because he was just so excited to be a part of it when he joined. There's so much energy in early episodes. Like, he's adorable. He's just so happy and so energetic. And he's almost like a kid himself. And then that kind of, like, digresses through the series because, you know, he's been there for a while. The excitement dies down. But yeah. Steve is cool. Steven Burns is a legend. He's so sweet. He's made, like, messages for his fans in, like, more recent years. And, like, you know, we're all adults now. And he's addressed us as adults who used to watch his show. And happy to think there is now a generation that's never used VCRs or even know what it is. Yep. There is indeed. There is an entire... I mean, I don't know where Lucas went, but if he were around, he'd probably go, VCRs! Old! But yeah. Yeah, we still have quite a few VCRs, and, like, you know, we don't need them all because we don't watch them all the time. Our VCR, like, player broke, so we can't actually watch them, but we can't get rid of them. They're irreplaceable and they're treasures, and we grow up with them. So now we're in, like, kind of this awkward situation where we just have, like, a collection of movies that we can't bear to part with, but we also can't watch. It's really disappointing. I wish people would remake VCR players. Like, please. We've remade record players. We've remade a lot of other things. There are, like, DVD players that can play tapes. Why are there no DVD players that can play VCRs that are like more modern and not old and will actually work and not tear up our tapes? We need that, please, so we can watch our tapes. I did find a bunch of old DVDs too. Oh, and I just remembered. Our entire book series of the series of unfortunate events. I found that too. I'm very excited about that too. That was another childhood classic. Our mom that read that to us growing up when we were young. We would like sit on the couch, or we'd sit around the table drinking tea and eating cookies, and we'd like gather around her and she would read us the series of unfortunate events from start to finish. She read the entire series to us and we were so invested. It was such a good series. That's my I'm drinking tea now noise, in case you were wondering. And I did tweet about this, but I don't think a lot of people saw it. I did also find a DVD case that had the Blockbuster logo on the inside. Yes, they are the best. Yeah, but like, it felt so weird, like, opening a case and seeing that Blockbuster logo. It was like kind of an awkward, yet like fun, yet sad moment. So I was like, the moment I saw it, I was like, oh, we might have rented this and not returned it. That's awkward. But also, doesn't matter anymore because Blockbuster's not around. And also, Blockbuster's not around. And also, we kind of have a memory of Blockbuster now in a case that we have. So, you know, that was interesting. Yeah, we also found a bunch of our, like, hiking and camping gear. That's cool. We have to sort through that still. I'm trying to think if there were any other important finds. You're the reason they went bankrupt. It's all my fault. Because I didn't return one movie. That one movie, it's the whole reason. That's so tragic. Why did I do this? I write sins, not tragedies. I mean, that's not the right reference. Also though, I found another stolen movie. It was either a Netflix or a Redbox. Was it a Netflix or a Redbox? I don't remember. Maybe it was a Netflix? You know, back in the day when Netflix was like, they would mail you a DVD and then you would ship it back. I think it was probably a Netflix, but it might have been also a Redbox thing, because it was a similar thing. Like Redbox, you go to the machines and you rent it and then you bring it back. It was one of those, and I don't remember which one it is, but we have one of those too. And yeah, that we still have that lying around. Maybe there's one of each, actually. Now that I think about it, I think we have two, and one of them I know is Netflix. Netflix killed Blockbuster? Yeah, it did, actually. It's, like, sad and terrible. And also, like, Netflix was great for a time because it made things so accessible. But now Netflix is garbage, and it also paved the way for the awful streaming service situation we're now in. So, it's unfortunate. But, yeah, we definitely have a stolen Netflix DVD that also doesn't matter anymore because Netflix isn't arranged the way it used to be anymore. Honestly, series of unfortunate events, such a funny series. It's such a dark, it's just as dark as he says it, but because he says it, it doesn't feel like it. Yeah, Lemony Snicket, is that his name, Lemony Snicket? He writes that, right? Or is that a different one? I think that's him. I might be mixing him up with someone else, but I think that's Lemony Snicket. But anyway, the writer of the series of unfortunate events, which also, like, the name that he uses is not his real name, and the pictures he has in the back of the book never show his face. It's always, like, the back of his head or something, and it's so funny, because, like, we have no idea who this guy is, and he's so, like, mysterious, but also goofy at the same time. I really respect him as an author. He's so fun. But, he has this habit of being like, Yeah, this is such a dark series. It's so dark. I can't believe this stuff happened to kids. It's like, so, like, everything's bad. This series is so bad. There's nothing happy in this series. It's sad. It's, like, horrible. This is such a bad series. And then because he says it, it's funny. Like, it's hilarious. But it's also, it actually is that tragic. Like, the series is actually a series of unfortunate events. And everything's bad. And there are very few good moments. And it's like tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. And these are kids' books, and they're so dark and so serious, but they're also so good and like kind of goofy at the same time because he makes these like out of story comments about it. And one of my favorite, let me sneak it. Yeah, okay, I got that right. The one of my favorite chapters, I forget which book it's in, but there's a chapter that is only a single page. And it's titled Deja Vu. And it's a description of the feeling of deja vu. And then you turn the page, and it's the chapter, Deja Vu, with the description of the feeling of deja vu. He just has 2 pages that are the same chapter repeated to literally give you the feeling of deja vu. It's so funny. And then he goes back to the story. And I don't know why he even wrote that. I don't even know if it's relevant to the rest of the story or what's going on at the time. I think it's just kind of there. But he just kind of like throws in random goofy things like that in the middle of this like really tragic story. You shouldn't read this. Put this book down because it's sad. Don't blame me if you get depressed because I told you to put it down. Literally. I don't know if that's a direct quote, but it's like if it's not a direct quote, it is close to. That's yes. He literally says stuff like that. He's like, I don't know why you're still reading this. This is an awful series. It's really sad. Like, stop reading this. Okay, I warned you. And he just keeps going with the story. It's so funny. He's such a fun author. I definitely recommend that one if you haven't read it. Even though it's a kid's series, I think it's still good. And you should read it. Along those similar lines of like kids books that are still good and you should read if you haven't, the Redwall series. Redwall and Mossflower are definitely the 2 that you should read. You should start with those. Because Redwall is the first book and Mossflower is like the prequel that tells the story of Martin the Warrior, who is referenced in Redwall. So you can read those really in either order, but those are the 2 most important ones to read. And then the rest of the series is like side stories and different characters, and it's like set in the same world but not the same event or characters. And they're all really cool. That writer's really awesome too. If you're gonna read only one book, then read Redwall. The classic. The OG. It's a good book. I haven't read it in a long time though. I might reread it eventually. Yeah, Arashi's favorite books. And Arashi is a big critic, so it's probably good if it's his favorite. Probably. Yeah, read Redwall first. You could read Mossflower first, but you know, Redwall's the classic, the OG, and it's kind of fun too, I think, to not have the full context of Martin the Warrior and not have the image in your head of him being the protagonist, because then you get this like, you know, mysterious old hero that the main character of Redwall looks up to, who's like, he's a part of history. And he's, you know, you don't really know his whole story if you just start with Redwall. He's just a legend that everyone talks about. And I think that's a really fun kind of concept. And if you read Mossflower first, then you don't get that kind of feeling the same way because, like, you know Martin already. So I think that's really the biggest reason why I would say to read Redwall first, aside from the fact that it just is the first book. But both are very good. And there's a lot of books in that series. I have not read them all. I've read very few of them actually. But there's a lot. So if you ever want to read a book about I didn't mention this context actually. If you don't know what Redwall is, it's about animals. So the main character of Redwall and of Martin, actually there is one called Martin the Warrior. Main character of Redwall, Martin the Warrior, and Mossflower are mice. And then they have like squirrels who I think were archers or something. Yeah, the squirrels are archers. The moles, like, you know, dig underground and stuff. They have a thick accent. They have their own culture. And then there's like rats who are evil, and then there's cats who are also evil, and then there's like the adder, you know, snakes, they're also villains. There's like birds and badgers and different woodland creatures. Medieval field mice, yes, exactly. It's a medieval setting with animals. So it's very like classic medieval fantasy with little critters. And it's it's really good. I might go get a drink because my throat is not happy that I'm talking so much and I ran out of tea. But no, it's really, really fun. Because the different animals kind of have like their own culture and specialties and stuff. So it's very interesting the way he does like these different creatures and stuff. And the different like side books that are part of the series but not the main plot line follow different characters. So there's one that's about a badger, one that's about a squirrel. There might be one about a mole, I'm not sure about that. But like if there is a certain woodland creature that is your favorite and you want to read a book about, he might have one for you. The most violent children's book we've ever read. It is true. Because it's real medieval combat. Like, they have brutal fight scenes in these books. And these are, again, kids' books. It's, like, intense stuff for kids. But for some reason, like, we read them as kids. We didn't really clue into how dark they were. And, like, we loved them. And, you know, we did not grow up being, like, violent, like, weird, twisted children. Because we read a book with fight scenes. I think, modern kids maybe need to read books with fighting and like appropriate levels of violence and, you know, to see media where bad things do happen and not just be coddled, because I feel like those of us who grew up in a time where that was our media are kind of tougher than the kids who are growing up in the era where everything is dumbed down and babyified and censored. But regardless, that's another tangent. Badgers are just an entire race of Little Johns. Yeah, like Little John in the Robin Hood story. That's the badgers. They're big because they're badgers, and they're they're cranky, aren't they? They're cranky guys. I haven't read the books in a long time. I might reread them eventually, or might reread Redwall specifically. It's very fun. My back is hurty, so I think I'm gonna do a quick stretch and get a drink. But also, I think we're probably at a good time to wrap up stream. So maybe I should, rather than like get a drink and come back, should just end here and then go do that. So, I think we will wrap up, and keep an eye on Twitter and YouTube notifications for our next stream, because Arashi and I might schedule another stream since his throat's doing better. And if we don't, then next stream will be, you know, one of my regular streams on my channel. But if it's a stream with Arashi that I end up doing, either like gaming or more card unboxing or whatever, that'll be on the StormSquadron channel. So just keep an eye on, especially my Twitter, but if you're not on Twitter, go keep an eye on the StormSquadron channel, because you won't see that on my channel. It'll be over there. But it would be fun if you guys joined us over there too. They cranky and often use quarterstaffs. Yeah, the badgers are cool. Want to clean up those cards? Yeah. We have the Bochi the Rock Weiss Shores cards. Ugh, my words are slurring a bit because I need a drink, I think. But anyway, we've got these cards that we've been opening. Arashi ordered a case of them, which is many cards. It's like what stores order to just like sell the cards. So it's like a large pack. Not many packs, but like you get it. Large box of cards. And we probably got through maybe half of them. Maybe less than half. I don't even remember. But anyway, we got through a chunk of them, but not all of them. So we need to finish opening those. So if that sounds interesting to you, if you wanna stare at bocce cards and enjoy the girls with us, definitely keep an eye on StormSquadron channel for that stream so we can finish up open on all the cards. And if you want to see the Helldivers that we were talking about as well, you will also see that over on StormSquadron. Yeah, so jump over there to go see us do fun gaming stuff. And with that, I think that's all for today. Thanks for coming and celebrating my birthday with me. And yeah, it was chill and not anything special and fancy really, but it was fun, and I'm glad I had some company. And stay tuned for the next one. We might do that little character design thing in our next stream, because I really like that idea now and I really want to do it now. So if you want to do that, definitely keep an eye on your notifications and stuff. Goodbye, Rice. Goodbye, Arashi, everyone else in chat, and everyone not in chat, and I guess VOD viewers. I get VOD viewers, surprisingly. So hello to VOD gang, if that's you, and goodbye. Thanks for coming, and thank you for the birthday wishes. Bye-bye.